Hey gamers, what's up? My name's Ampersand, and welcome to this recording of my favorite game of all time, Secret of Mana. That's right, there it is, right on the big screen. Man, I'm so excited. I really love this game. And yeah, it's a childhood favorite of mine. It's my all-time favorite game, and it's got beautiful music, graphics, gameplay. Like, everything about this game just screams awesome. And I am really excited to share it with you. If you've never seen it before, or if you want to just see... Let me just make sure what game files I have. Okay, I don't have anything that I would regret. That's good. I was wondering if I named one of my characters something horrible, and I didn't, so that's good. This is off to a good start. So let's go ahead and just name our dude. As a kid, I would name my guy Noah. I'm not sure why I picked the name Noah. I wasn't, like, overly biblical. I didn't know anybody named Noah. My name's not Noah. I have no idea why I picked Noah, but Noah is like the it's like the default name I give a lot of JRPG characters because of this game as kind of like a tradition. But we're just gonna go ahead and name myself Amp. Whoa, that's not a... There we go. And yeah, there's a couple of little catches with this stream, so I'm gonna make like a content warning really quick here. I might talk about inappropriate stuff. I have no idea. Because I am also going to be drinking, and I will be drinking Yukon Jack as I play my favorite game of all time. This is my favorite alcoholic beverage. It's a very special alcoholic beverage, and I don't want to be too much of a downer. But I'll tell you why. Well, there's a couple of reasons why. Let's leave the downer for last. So, the first reason why I like it, it's 100 proof. It's got 50% alcohol per volume in this bitch. So this gets you drunk fast, and you only need like a few shots to kind of get like pretty drunk off of it. So it's very efficient. I like that. The other thing I like about Yukon Jack is that it reminds me of my best friend. His name was Panzerkampfwagen, and unfortunately he passed away about 3 years ago now, I think. It's been a little while, but it's still kind of like a near and dear to my heart. This was his favorite drink. He's the one who got me hooked on it. So it's, I kind of get it in memorial of my friend who had passed away a little while ago. So, yeah. So we're going to just go ahead and start this off immediately. Taking a shot. And then we'll see how many I take from there, but I'm going to try not to do too many. Because actually, if you notice, I'll hold it up really quick here. Let me see if you can see it properly. You should notice that this is not full. It's about half full, half empty, if you will. And yeah, I already I tried playing Spyro the Dragon while drinking, and it turned out to be a really bad idea. So I kind of expect the same thing for Secret of Mana. It's going to be a bad idea. But I might actually upload this video, whereas I could not upload the Spyro video. That was bad. So I'm not going to drink as much as I did during Spyro. I'm looking at having 3 shots. Possibly more, but I'm looking at 3 right now. So here we go. Down the hatch. Cheers, gamers. And let's play some fucking Secret of Mana, shall we? Ooh. Ooh. Oh, God. Gamers. That is a strong drink. Wait! Whew! Really grabs you by the boo-boo. Alright, here we go. And I'm not going to read all the text. I play this game like a million times. I kind of know what the text is. And I find like when I watch like Let's Plays and like the person's just going like nuts, like reading everything that's on the screen, like sometimes it can be a little annoying, right? You know, giving all the characters voice acting and stuff. So I'm going to try to avoid it here. We're just going to play Secret of Mana. We're going to play my favorite game of all time. That's all. We're not going to try to pretend that I can voice act. We're just going to We're gonna get a good ways into this game. I'm kind of aiming to at least unlock the first magic that you unlock. That would probably be a good stopping point if I can get that far, but I don't know. I don't know how quickly I can do it. I might be able to do it pretty quickly, so I might even go a little bit further, but we'll see. We'll see how much of this game I can complete in a couple hours. But yeah, if you can't notice it already, man, like, the music... Well, I guess this is a bad time to talk about the music, because it just cut the music. I'll talk about the music in a second here. But yeah, just okay. Let's talk about the graphics. Look how colorful it is. Look at all those flowers. There's like lily pads in the water. There's pink and yellow flowers. There's some spiky bushes, trees, grass, different lengths of grass. You know, there's like some rock outcropping around the lake, and you know, there's just so much to look at. There's these little like rock bottom like little textures here that oddly are animated. Never really noticed that before, but they don't. These textures right here don't move. Oh, that's another thing I should say is that I'm recording this on original hardware. I'm recording this on my SNES, and I am using RGB cables to record this, and like an upscaler and everything. So you can notice like little details that you might not notice if you're you know, playing in composite and whatever. But yeah, there's just so much to look at, and it's like so detailed and pretty and colorful and vibrant, and I just love how this game looks. And I gotta talk about the music now that the music's back. Listen. Oh wait, the music's going away again. Oh, we're off to a good start. All right, so the music changes here, but that's fine. I wanted to talk about the other song, but we'll talk about this song. Listen to that flute. Listen to that lute. There's like a little bit of like pipe organ in the background too. There's just so much, it's layered nicely. It just sounds so good. This is like a great song. Love it. Love this song. It just makes you feel like you're out on an adventure, man. It's great. Oh, there's another thing I should talk about really quick, too, that you might have noticed. As you might be wondering, like, hey, Ampersand, why don't you just go like this and just start stabbing the shit out of this guy, right? Doesn't that kill him, too? Well, you might notice on the bottom of the screen that every time you attack, a meter charges up, a percentile. Starts off at 0, goes up to 100, and it happens after you attack. That's the strength of your hit. So if you attack like really fast, you end up doing less damage than if you just wait a little bit and then attack. And that's one of the things of contention that I've noticed from like other people who have played this game. Like, they don't like that. They don't like having to wait between attacks. But the way I look at it, and it's kind of like a weird way to look at it, like this might be a little far out for some of you. This might be a little Space Cadet-y loop-de-loop. But, what it kind of reminds me of is almost like Soulsian combat, like Dark Souls, right? Like in Dark Souls, what do you do? Like, what's the combat like? You go up to an enemy, you attack it, usually you then, like, run back or roll back, and you dodge attacks, and then you go in for another hit, you know? And that's what this game kind of reminds me of. It has, like, the same kind of, like, pacing as, like, an action RPG of like, a more modern variety, too. Because, like, you know, this guy, he doesn't attack you after you attack him, but some do. And you have to, like, run around and, like, dodge their attacks. And you wait for your, you know, you wait for your moment to strike, to be able to get in there and deal some damage. And it reminds me a lot of a more, to me, it's kind of timeless. Like, yes, you don't get, like, the tactile feel of, like, rolling around like a dipshit everywhere that you do with, like, Dark Souls and Elden Ring and all those kinds of games. So it's not one for one. But it's close enough. It's close enough, in my opinion. And you might not agree, but I think if you like the Souls games, and you can appreciate the combat in them, and that, like, you have to go back, dodge attacks, and then go back in, and there's a little bit of, like, a rhythm to the combat. There's a little bit of, like, you know... It's not just spam attack on enemy and win. You know, if you like that kind of combat, I think you'd like Secret of Mana. And again, I know that's like probably a very controversial thing to say, but it's honestly how I feel. How much gold do I have at this point? I have 40? Is that enough to get what I want? I don't think so. I think I needed 50, but I could sell some candy. I don't want to go out and grind, so I'm just trying to, you know, keep the game going here. How much is the headband? It is 50, I thought so. So we will sell 2 candies. We don't really need them for right now. And we will buy a bandana. And then we can equip it, and we actually get +2 defense, which is very nice when you're just starting out. Another nice thing about Secret of Mana is you got this ring system, so you can go through like the various, so this is like your weapon menu, this is your item menu, and this is kind of like your options menu. Also, speaking of options, I always like to do this. This is something that I feel like not enough people do when they play Secret of Mana, but I feel like you should. You should personalize your Secret of Mana experience. You can actually edit the window, the color of the text box, and I really like that one the best, so we'll probably stick with that. So now when we talk to this person, see, it's different now, right? And it might not be as legible, and I'm sorry about that, but it should be okay. That's what our Secret of Mana experience is going to be like now, right? I made it my own. And there's some other things you can do too. It's not going to be... Oh, I guess we can't yet. No, we could. Action Grid. So, we only have one character right now, but you actually get multiple characters, and they're controlled by NPCs. But you can actually, like, program how you want the NPC to act as it follows you around. So if you ever switch characters, like, if I ever switch off of this character, like, when he's an NPC, this is how he's going to act. I could have him, like, be more aggressive and attack more. I could have him try to keep away from the enemy, but also always attack when the enemy gets close. I could have him guard more, keep away. At default, the keep away and guard's really annoying. I always just like to set my guys as aggressive as possible, because I like to kill all the enemies I come across. That way you don't have to grind too much, you're just kind of naturally killing stuff as you go. It feels right to me. I'm not sure when I'm going to take that second shot yet, but I think I'm getting kind of close. I want to kind of pace myself, though. I want to get, like, a little drunk. If I'm just being honest, gamers, I want to get, like, a little drunk. Not too drunk. And I don't want to regret it the next time. Like, after I played Spyro the Dragon, I, like, stayed up that night, just, like, puking my guts out into the toilet. Like, I puked at least twice, and I just felt like shit. And I was like, man, so glad I deleted that video footage. It was so bad. It was a mess. It was fun. I definitely had a lot of fun making the Spyro video, but the Spyro video is never going to see the light of day. In fact, it's already been deleted. It's gone. So, I'm sorry. You're never going to see the Spyro footage where I say horrible, terrible things. It's off the menu. Alright, so here we go into our first boss. Also, I always liked how his legs kind of dangle when he's hanging off the side of the pit. I always loved that. Also, there's a kind of like a bit of a glitch you can do. A glitch. And if you just go up here, the boss always jumps up and down. And you can attack him, but he can't attack you. That's one way you can do it. I'll actually fight him. Oh, I haven't shown a charge attack yet either, so I might want to do that next. That's it. Oh, I did do a charge attack once. But yeah, this is a really fun game. One of the things that I will say about the game that I think might turn people off, besides like the combat a bit, is the magic never misses in this game. And enemies, especially some bosses, will cast a lot of magic, and sometimes they won't stop casting magic until you're dead. So there are times, and there are some feel-bad times with Secret of Mana, where, like, you could just get chained by magic by the boss, and there's, like, nothing you can do about it, and you just die. it's pretty awful. It's a pretty awful feeling. I've been there. I've been there a couple of times in my life playing this game as much as I have. But hopefully we don't run into that. Technically, if the boss wanted to and just spammed magic or abilities like that, you could get soft locked. Like, let's say like it doesn't do enough damage or you don't take any damage, but they still keep casting the magic. Like, you'll just get soft locked. It's pretty bad. So, even though this is my favorite game of all time, I do recognize that it has its issues, you know. It's not a perfect game. No game really is perfect. And this game is kind of far from perfect as compared to, like, some of the games that I consider are, like, more objectively better than this game. Like, I think Legend of Mana, speaking of the same series, I think Legend of Mana is a better made game than Secret of Mana. I might even think Trials of Mana to a degree is a better game than Secret of Mana. It's hit or miss with some of the things that it adds and some of the things it removes, you know what I mean? But Metal Gear Solid 2 is probably the game that I think personally is like next to, if not a perfect game. Like, I love Metal Gear Solid 2. And I don't just love it, I just think it's brilliantly conceived by the developers and that they really knew what they were doing. And it's just an amazingly made game. Super fun, has a great story, great cutscene, great graphics, pushed the technological envelope at the time for PS2. Like, it was all that and a bag of chips, man. Oh, I also forgot to grab something here. But yeah, you can also talk to this guy right now and you can get like a little bit of backstory about how he found you abandoned as a baby and picked you up and raised you as his own. It's pretty sad, but we don't got time for that shit. We're gonna keep moving. This is also a very sad song. Sometimes when I'm sad, I think about this song, and it kind of plays in my head when I'm feeling really sad. This game has impacted me in many ways. It's just it's a game that I just go back to all the time. It's a game that I just have so much love for, and it's kind of like shaped who I am as a human being in a way. Which is really weird to say because it's not like there's any like hugely moralistic ideas that are conveyed by this game. There's a couple. There's a bit of environmentalism to this game. Yeah. So, you know, there's definitely like, you know, a bit of like a green sort of like don't waste your expendable resources. Mana is magic in this game, and like people use up too much magic and then it goes away, right? You want renewable resources. So yeah, there's definitely some, like, you know, some message in that way of, like, that you could say, like, oh, this game made me more of an environmentalist. Sure, why not, right? You could say that. I don't think it really affected me that way. I think what this game kind of taught me, weirdly, is, like, to keep my sense of wonderment, to keep, like, to keep the love alive in my heart, and to, like, just have compassion for people. I don't know why, like, this game kind of, like, pushed me in that direction, but it kind of did. It really honestly kind of did. But yeah, we're kind of cruising through this game so far, yeah? Maybe I need a little bit of knockout juice to make this playthrough go a little bit more interesting, right? So let's get through this cutscene and then I'll take the next shot. Also, it's probably a lot easier to see what she's supposed to look like with like the RGB graphics that I'm using here. But when I was a kid with like the blurry composite and everything, you can kind of see how she has like a, you know, a neck right here, right? And she's wearing some kind of like bikini-ish top, and she has, you know, her lower jaw kind of outlined, and then she has her red eyes, and then, you know, the hair and everything, right? The way that I used to see her as a kid was that line that marks like her bottom of her face. I always saw that as like a big, like, witch's nose. I always saw that as like a big witch's nose, and she always looked like some creepy old hag. And so I always was like, why is he so insulted that I called her old looking, and or that I was confused about her age? And it's like, she looks like a hag. So I don't know. I guess I need... Oh, let me get through this and I'll take my next shot. I'm sorry. Jumping the gun a little bit here. But yeah, Luca's a cool character in this game. She only pops up a couple of times, but she does get like a little bit more love than a bunch of other NPCs. As far as like affecting the story and everything. So yeah, Luca's pretty important. She's cool. And again, I'm sorry if like you want to read this and you're like, Ampersand, why are you skipping all this dialogue? Like, don't you want to read it and like get us on board with the story? No, I don't. I don't care. Just enjoy, man. Just enjoy this whole experience of us just sitting down, playing some Secret of Mana, and having some fun. Having some drinks, having some fun. Alright, so we're about to seal our first Mana Seed. Mana Seeds are a mechanic that I'll talk about later if I get the opportunity to. But, essentially what I can say is that, well, I'll show you. I'll show you. You remember when when it was a little while ago, so maybe for the video I'll cut back to it, so, you know, and then we cut back to me. Hello! Yeah, so you remember when, so I just showed the clip of when, you know, my sword leveled up, right? So weapons can level up in this game, and it lets you charge up your weapon and do a more powerful attack. Oops, I don't want to get rid of that character. I have plenty of free save spaces left, so might as well do that. But, so you can level up, you know it says weapon / magic level. Well, your magic can level up too, and I currently don't have any magic, so it doesn't really matter to show at this point. But yeah, the more you use magic, the more powerful it gets. And the more powerful it gets, the bigger and more grand the animation of the spell being cast looks. Until it gets to a point that it transforms the spell completely. And looks completely different from how it looked before. And just looks like amazing. You know? So, if you get your magic to max level, you'll be able to get these like supercharged, super cool looking, awesome magic spells. But you have to invest a lot of time grinding it out. Also, look, I have 69 life. But yeah, I'll talk about one of my favorite memories of this game right now. One of my favorite all-time memories of me playing this game, actually it wasn't even of me playing the game. It was me being reminded of the game. There was I live in Maine, which is a very, very cold northern state, northeastern state up in here in America. You know, land of the free, home of the brave. And, yeah, so it gets really cold in Maine. It's just a cold kind of place. And there was an ice storm back in 1998. We called it the Ice Storm of '98 very creatively. And It affected more than just Maine. It actually affected most of New England and even some other places as well. But Maine got hit pretty hard by it. And we're going to see the area later, but there's a point in the game where you get to this frozen wasteland that has like a bunch of like clear crystals, and it's just really beautiful looking. And it has like a very pretty icy song, like it's called the Ice Country. If you want to look up the song, because I might not get to it this playthrough. But yeah, there's an area of the game called Ice Country, and if you look up on YouTube, for instance, like Ice Country song, Secret of Mana, you'll probably find it. And yeah, that's the song that would play in my head as I was walking around as a kid during the ice storm of '98 and the after effects, where like entire trees were encased in ice. And it was just like a really fantastical time to be alive. And I would have that song from the Ice Country like playing in my head as I walked around, and it was just a really wonderful experience. It's definitely one of my most treasured memories, and I think back to it every once in a while. Especially if it gets really cold out. Like, man, remember the ice storm of '98? Remember how much that reminded you of the Ice Country and Secret of Mana? Damn, that shit was crazy. So yeah, that's one of my, personally speaking, that's one of my most treasured memories. And I just shared it with you. I just put it out there on the internet for everyone to see and hear. If you ever, I don't really care about YouTube engagement too much. But I am, like, a little curious, like, if anyone else has had any experiences sort of like that. If you wanted to share it, there's always the comments, right? I'm not telling you that you have to comment on my video. I'm not saying like, comment, and subscribe. I'm just saying if you have a little story poo that you want to share with me about a time, maybe when you were a kid, or, I guess it doesn't have to be, but any time in your life where, like, you were just entranced by the beauty of nature and you had, like, a video game song playing in your head, or some kind of moment like that, where it just really touched you and just felt so fitting and so right. Let me know. I'm curious to see if anyone has had an experience like that. But yeah, actually, we're about to get our second character here, which is really cool. I think once I get the second character, I'm going to take my second shot. I've been holding off on it. But we got to start rolling here. You don't get drunk by not drinking, that's for sure. Let's see, what are we going to name her? I'd usually name her Mist. I think I was trying to call her Misty, but I accidentally pressed like the start button or something and I cut her name off short. But the name that I usually give her is Mist. I'm going to give her a different name. I'll name her after a friend. Why not? There we go. Name him after my good friend Bonez. Alright, let's take that second shot now. I'm also not sure what YouTube's, like, rule is on, like, drinking and making videos about drinking. But I'm sure you can do it. If not, then the video will get taken down and c'est la vie. As long as they don't delete my channel, I don't really care. I still got more reviews to make before they delete my channel. Nope. Shot number 2. Cheers. Oh my god. Oh. 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 100 proof drinks, gamers, are very strong. Very strong alcoholic taste. But one of the things that I like about this, and I don't think I mentioned it when I was kind of talking about Yukon Jack before, but it doesn't taste horrible, right? Like, it's got a lot of bite to it, right? It really grabs you by the balls. But it's not like too alcohol tasting. It has some nice honey and orange and citrusy flavors to it as well. That kind of make it a little bit more palatable and makes it like a, you know, for a 100 proof drink, it kind of goes down a little bit easier than it probably should. I'll say that. So that's one of the other pluses about Yukon Jack, is that even though it's strong as fuck, it doesn't taste fucking horrible. Like, if you just drink straight vodka or something, it's like, ugh, god, it tastes like shit. Yukon Jack has bite, but it doesn't taste like shit. So that's like one of the positives of it. It's not good, but it's not bad either. We also have a lady here. We're just gonna keep moving. I could stop to smell the roses and talk to all these townsfolk and stuff, but I only have a couple hours with you, and I want to get through as much of the game as possible. You notice how she's being kind of fucking stupid? She's like darting back and forth and being an idiot. This is one of the things that you have to realize. Oh, how do I do it again? Oh, right. You can, on the ring menu, actually switch your characters by pressing X, and then you can choose the different weapons. But most importantly, you can set her AI to attack. So now she won't run away, she'll run into poison gas and get knocked out. I guess I will too, so I guess I can't talk too much shit about her. There she goes, now she's moving. But yeah, usually I don't grind too much in this game. I usually just kill. I just kill what I see. And I find that's like a good way to go about it. It means you can make progress through the game without slowing down too much. But you also get like that nice combat against like the regular enemies in too. So it's not like, oh, sorry Bones. At least you leveled up. Fuck, I missed that hit. Yeah, there are iframes in this game too you have to kind of watch out for. Hopefully Bones levels up again soon so he doesn't die. I don't know what I'm saying. I guess my friend Bones is a he, so I'm calling the lady of the party a he. But really, she's a she and I should refer to her as such. Because why not? She's the bitch, baby. Gotta love your bitch. She'll level up soon. I'm not going to bother using a candy on her because she's going to level up and then it's just going to be a waste of a candy. When you level up, you get all your HP back. I could also go to an inn as well. There we go. See, I told you she was going to level up. But yeah, this is just such a peaceful, fun game. Also, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that sometimes you can find treasure chests in the grass, too. It sometimes pays to do it, but there's usually not a point to, because, like, what you're going to get out of a grass treasure is probably, like, a candy at best and maybe a couple gold at most. I don't know. It's not really worth your time, though. Hey! Now she can punch a little harder. So this is her leveled up punch. She does a 3-hit combo, which is pretty cool. And yeah, you can switch characters on the fly by pressing select, which is really fun. The other thing is, too, is every time your character levels their weapon, you have to also set it so that they use that next level, so they actually charge their weapon up. One more thing I want to check is how much money I have. Okay, I have enough. Because I also want to go to this shop here, because they sell this Kung Fu dress that is so good to have on her in the early game. It costs $350, right? It's fucking expensive as shit. But it is so worth it to give her armor and make her functionally invincible for a bit. So yeah, we'll go ahead and equip her. But yeah, see, she goes from having 4 defense to 17 with just this armor. Like, it's ridiculous. It's such a huge upgrade. I recommend it to anyone who's playing this game. It just makes your CPU controlled partner die less, and makes life a little bit more, you know, a little bit more manageable. Alright, we're also gonna stay the night, even though we don't need to heal, just because I want to make a save. We haven't saved since the Water Palace, so we might as well. I'm good enough at this game that I don't really need to save often, but sometimes it is better safe than sorry. But yeah, Secret of Mana, man. Secret of Mana, man. Man, what a good game. I just love everything about it. Look. Choose your charge attack. She did it again. I love that shit, man. I love how you're like going up against them and attacking them. Meanwhile, the NPC, non-player controlled character, is just kind of like sitting in the back there, just charging up a big hit and just goes in and busts face. It's just such a nice little system we got going on here, isn't it? Sometimes it can be annoying that they charge up too much, but it's often not too bad. The other thing I should mention too is actually this game is multiplayer. You can actually share this whole experience, this really fun game, this masterpiece of a fucking game. You can actually share it with a friend. In fact, give me 1 second, gamers. 1 second, I'll be right back. In fact, gamers, if you have more than one friend that you want to share this experience with, you can. And it's a little dusty, so don't mind it too much. But if you have like a multi-tap for the SNES, you can actually plug in 3 controllers, and there's actually 3 characters you get throughout the playthrough of the game. You can actually have 2 of your best friends playing one of the most amazing games ever made, and get to experience it with them, and yeah, and share it. And it's just God, it's so good. It's just such a well-made game, and the fact that it's multiplayer kind of pushes it over the top. There are a little bit of, like, and again, I'll talk about it later once we get magic and stuff. There's a bit of a downside with magic that I want to talk about at a certain point. There's no rush to talking about it, but it is something that you have to consider when you talk about this game. If you're going to properly critique it and talk about it, like, you just have to understand that, you know, not all is right in Secret of Mana. And I will talk about the magic system a little later. Also, even if you set the CPU to be aggressive, doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be smart. There we go. Nice shot. Oh, right. I forgot I have to do something first. So I was told to go to the Underground Palace, but if you recruit the the lady at this point in the game and try to go to the Underground Palace, she'll get mad at you unless you do something in particular. And I mean, I played this game so many times, I'm a little surprised I forgot. But there's something you have to do first. But it's okay, because it gives us an opportunity to kill more guys, get more experience, more gold for later. It's not a horrible thing to go down the wrong path every once in a while. I knew she could do it. I could have killed it myself, but I wanted her to do it. I wanted to give her the satisfaction. You can also run, but you can only run in one direction. And it also resets your strength meter, so I use it sparingly. If you're wondering why I'm not like running around everywhere, it's just because it's a little annoying to do. Which I guess you could see as another little flaw of this game, but not a huge one. There we go. Leveled up. Alright, fuck that guy. I'm not gonna kill him. It's not worth my time. Prick. Man, this is just such a comfort food of a game for me. Everything about this just brings me extreme inner peace and joy. You know, when you find a game like Secret of Mana, you gotta find your own Secret of Manas. Because Secret of Mana isn't gonna be the same game as it is to me to another person, right? But if you can find your own Secret of Mana, and you can find a comfort game that just, like, makes you feel good, and makes you feel well, and just brings you to a really comfortable, nice place, then you know, you're doing God's work there. You're gonna make it. You're gonna be okay. Everyone needs their own Secret of Mana, though, for sure. Shit! I made her take the hit for me. I don't regret it either. I'm gonna kill this guy too, even though I don't need to. Again, the more we kill now, the less we have to worry about later. So I like to kill everything that we see as we go. I forget if this Nico has anything that I necessarily want to buy right now. I don't think he does. I mean, I guess a wristband wouldn't be horrible. It's very overpriced, but it's also... No, I'm gonna save my money. You get a power wrist a little bit further down the line that gives you more defense. And I think for about the same price, too. Because one of the gimmicks about Nico is that Nico's always in, like, convenient places like this, right? Like, it's in the middle of the woods, there's, like, a store, right? That's really nice. Like, if you need to buy more healing items, or you wanted to buy a bit of armor in a pinch, like, you have that option with Nico, and Nico's really cool. It's good to have Nico on your journey. But here's the thing, is that Nico prices every one of his items at double price. Double price. So you pay twice as much for the same item that you could get in a store. But now that we've tried to get through this and we can't, we can go to Gaia's Navel, which is where the place we needed to go is. Yeah, the NPC can still be a little dumb even if you mess with the AI. Come on, dummy! Getting a lot of critical hits. Whenever it says, like, Robin Hood got whacked, that means I got a critical hit on him. You've been noticing that. I don't know if you noticed, but I noticed. Yeah, this is kind of like a neat little, it's not really a stream, but it kind of feels like a stream, right? Also, this thing is evil and can fucking wipe you if you're not careful. It spawns Robin Hoods. Has a crap ton of health, and it can also heal people. But thankfully I'm good enough at the game that I can do that pretty easily, pretty reliably, without getting fucked. But I remember as a kid getting fucked by that evil eye so many times. Or that, whatever it's called. Kill him! Oh, you missed. Oh my god. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. I can't die to one Robin Hood. There we go. That would have been really embarrassing. Like, I've only had 2 shots, so there's really no excuse. But yeah, the reason why I didn't immediately go back to Gaia's Navel is you need to do that little switch puzzle eventually anyway, so I usually just like to get it out of the way while you're here. Also, I could kill all these enemies, but I think we're kind of good for a little bit here. I feel like I can pretty safely have enough gold that I don't need to kill these guys on the way back, too. God, I love this fucking music, dude. Yeah, if you haven't been able to tell yet, I love this game. I love the snare. The snare's so good. Melody's so catchy. Everything about this song just kicks so much ass. And this game. Ooh, another critical hit. I'm actually surprised. Usually critical hits are a little bit rare unless you have a weapon that has improved critical hits. But this sword is just a basic sword. Like, I haven't upgraded my sword yet, so... it's kind of surprising to get, like, as many critical hits as we've seen so far. It's a pretty blessed playthrough, I would say. Nice, you got him. Oh! Now there's another thing you can get from chests too. We'll see if we have it happen. Nope, okay. Sometimes when you open up a chest, it can be a trap. And I was kind of surprised there to not get a trap. Because usually the chests that I get from these bees are usually trapped. Same with the lullabuds. But every once in a while, you actually get something you can use. 22 gold's 22 gold. I'll take it. Also, getting balloons sucks. Pretty much means you can't, like, attack or defend or do anything until the balloon goes away. I'm gonna open this up. See, there's a trap. That's a poison needle. I knew eventually we'd have one come along. Also, these guys used to be pretty party wiping themselves. Whoops, I didn't mean to pick this up. I hope it's not trapped. It is. I hope I don't die. I didn't. That's good. I might actually use a candy here. It's getting a little rough. So yeah, these green slimes, they can multiply, and if you don't kill them all at the same time, then they can still respawn and make more of them. So you kind of want to make sure that you're hitting all of them at the same time. Because see, look, I just killed one of them. Now they've made another. So now there's 3 of them again. So you could spend like a lot of time trying to kill these guys. And it could potentially go on forever, so we're just going to keep moving. But they're a good source of gold and experience if you really need them. So, another word to the wise, you know, if you're just starting out and you've never played this game before. Killing those green slimes can be a really good way to catch up on levels if you feel underleveled. Look at all these crits, man! This is fucking insane, actually. Yeah, here's like the next part, like, right? Look, there's lava. Like, how are we supposed to get across? Oh. I could answer that very easily. Kill these blats before they balloon me. There we go. Yeah, we're doing good, I'd say. Also, I do like how the gloves, like, did you see that grapple move that she just did?
It's time for muscle!
I don't think it actually does any extra damage. And it usually only happens if you're spamming the attack button. So if you're spamming the attack button, you do less damage, right? So usually when she does that grab and throw, it's usually not that impressive. Like, damage-wise, but it looks cool. It's cool that you can do it, even if it doesn't really add to your damage or anything. In fact, it usually means you're doing less damage overall. Whoops. Oh, I fucked up. Oh no, Bones is unconscious. How unfortunate. So again, we're not going to worry about the green slimes too much. They're just kind of annoying. And they can actually kill the shit out of you if you're not careful. So we're actually just going to run past them. What I really want is this treasure chest. You might be wondering, why is there just a treasure chest sitting out here? Just chilling. Well, what's up with this treasure chest, huh? Well, I'll show you. It's actually a key item called the Magic Rope. Magic Rope lets you escape from dungeons. And it's really useful. If you find your ass getting plowed in the middle of a game, right, and you're like, man, I really don't want to... Oh god, I'm gonna die, aren't I? Oh, maybe not, maybe not. I got pushed away from him. Come on. Come on, lady, let's go. I don't want to die to these guys. Also, I just leveled up, so it might be worth an item. But at the same time, we're actually really close to the next town. So we don't have to worry about it too much. I know I'm a little low, and it looks a little risky for me to be this low, but it's actually fine. These crits, dude! I swear to god I'm not using a modified game cartridge. This isn't a hacked version of the game. This is just Secret of Mana. Right? I'm not cheating. But god damn am I getting a lot of crits. It's actually uncanny. Look at this shit, dude! I swear to god that's unnatural. I'm not joking. Like, getting that amount of crits is actually kind of unheard of. Oops. Here we go. And alright, we're at the next most amazing song in the game. I love this song. It's so jumpy and bouncy and fun. It's good shit, man. Love it. Sorry. Sorry if that was horrible. But I'm just having fun, man. So here is where, if I was playing this game on my own and I wasn't making a video, I might grind, because these things are kind of expensive that I'm about to buy here. But they're worth buying. Yeah, see how this wristband's only 45 GP? At Nico, it was 90 GP. So again, doubles the value of anything that he sells. So, kind of ridiculous. Alright, I actually might still have enough to do what I need to do. So this is fine. I bought everything that I needed to, and on top of that, we should be able to, yeah, everything's good. I think I'll stay at the end really quickly, though, because I'm actually pretty low, and something's about to happen. But we have enough money for this shit. Let's take my third shot here. So again, I'm trying to see how far 3 shots gets me. Because I don't feel drunk at the moment, right? Like, I don't even feel like a buzz. So I want to make sure, though, that I'm going slow enough and that I'm not overexerting my liver or my kidneys or whatever. Once again, gamers, raise your glasses high. Cheers. Fuck. Holy shit. Woo! I'm telling you, man. This stuff packs a kick. It ain't no joke. Do not fuck around with Yukon Jack. I'm fucking around with it a little bit, but I would not suggest that the majority of people fuck around with Yukon Jack. That shit will fuck you up. Right, I don't want to go here or I'm going to have to grind. I want to go this way. You know what I could do just to make sure that I have enough money? I'm pretty sure I have enough money. The one thing that I could do really quick that'd be like really smart is to sell my equipment that I'm not using anymore. Just to get a look, because I wasn't sure if it was $350. It might be $350 that you need, so I wanted to make sure that I had it. But while I'm at it, I might as well just sell everything that I can. Okay. That should be good. That should be good. Here we go. We get introduced to the third character here. So you have to pay money to go here, so you want to make sure that you have money available, or this doesn't work. Rabbite Man! I always liked the Rabbite Man. It's just a yellow dwarf. Like, they just spray painted that fucking poor dwarf yellow and put him up on display. But, he could be like a dwarf fucked a Rabbite. Who knows? Maybe it really is like a dwarf-Rabbite hybrid. Maybe I'm just being too cynical. Yeah, I'll help it out. Alright. So now we can go over here. Also, I apologize in advance. Ooh, excuse me. When you drink, you sometimes get a little bit of gas release. So, I apologize for that burp. I'll try not to do it too much. It's gross. But you do get your money back, which is nice. You even get, like, the entry fee paid back, which is kind of crazy. Alright, now we can move. So, we did that. Now we go over to the left side of the village. And we should be able to talk to a character that will be a reoccurring character in many a mana game. Watts. Watts the blacksmith. So this is what I was talking about before about upgrading your weapon. See, it turns silver. And with this, we can head out down here and get ourselves into a little tussle. There we go. Something's coming, and it ain't me. Alright, let's kill this fucking bitch. Yeah, I only take 1 damage, or I guess 12 damage sometimes from the boss. Because I went ahead and I bought all that armor. If you're really smart gamers, something you can do is you can actually do the Watts the Blacksmith part of that first, and if you do that, you upgrade your sword, right? And that means you could actually, like, ooh, I critical hit him again. What is with these crits? I'm loving it, dude. But anyways, you can actually get the sword to charge level 2 before you fight the boss, which helps, like, kill the shit out of them, honestly. But I didn't bother doing it. I did it this way, just in case I didn't have enough gold. He's dead, though. You don't really have to worry about him too much. I remember having some issues with this boss as a kid. I had a lot of issues with a lot of the bosses as a kid, but I always eventually triumphed over them. Like I mentioned, like, I played the shit out of this game as a kid. And I never owned it, though, which is really strange, right? Like, the amount of hours I put into this game, this is probably the console game that I have put the most hours of my life into. Right? I have put more hours into Secret of Mana than I've put into, like, Super Mario World, Metal Gear Solid series. Like, any one game, I don't think I put in as much time into any one console game than Secret of Mana. There's some PC games that I've definitely put more time into, because I was, like, a little bit of, like, a competitive game degenerate, and I was playing, like, fucking, you know, shitty-ass games like League of Legends and Dota 2 and stuff, right? But, But yeah, like, as far as console games go, this is it. This is the one I put the most time into. And I never even owned it. I never even owned this growing up, and I put so many hours into it. And it's because there's this video game rental store on the main street of the little town that I grew up in. And I don't know what I'm gonna name this character, so I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna name it Quody. It's not spelled the right way, but that's as many letters as you get to fit, so that's quote enough. That's close enough to Quody as you can get. But what was I talking about? Yeah, so I used to rent this game all the time as a kid. Like, anytime I had any money at all, I would run down to the video game rental store and rent this game for a weekend. If I begged my mom enough to go to the video game rental store and rent me it, I would rent it almost as many weekends as I could, right? I rented this game over and over and over again. And it was so bad that there was actually like this church fair that I used to go to as a kid. And at this church fair, they had this thing called a penny auction where you could buy like 100 tickets for $1, right? So a penny a ticket. And you would take these tickets and you would stuff them into these little buckets. And then they would, shuffle up the bucket and then draw a random ticket out. And if it was your ticket, you would win whatever the bucket is related to. Whatever the I don't know why I'm having so much trouble saying this. Whatever the bucket represented was the prize you would win, I guess, is how I'll say that. I don't think that was right. But anyways, so yeah, there was a gift card for like $25 to go to the video game rental store. And every year I would put in all of my tickets. My mom would go to the penny auction, buy me like, 500 tickets or whatever. And I would just take all 500 of them and stuff them into the bucket that had the gift card. And I would win it almost every year. And I would just rent Secret of Mana. Like, that's how much I love this game. I really, really love Secret of Mana. Okay? I don't think I can really exaggerate this. It's a true passion and love. I love this game, right? So, I used to rent this all the fucking time. If you haven't picked that up yet, you can just buy the Sprite a few things just so he's not as weak to start off. But what was the next point that I was going to make about renting it? I forget. I am starting to feel a little bit buzzed now, by the way. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just love this fucking game. And even though I never owned it, it's still probably my most played game. I think that's what I was trying to get the point across to. I think I kind of got back on track there. But yeah. Shit, I fucked up. I forgot to leave 100 gold to buy that axe. I forgot about that. Sorry, gamers. My options are pretty much going outside and grinding for a little bit. Thankfully, not too far away, there's a green slime you can grind off of, and you should be able to get enough gold off of that pretty quick. It doesn't take long to get 100 gold, so not a big deal. I normally am smarter about this, but I've been drinking, so there you go. Still level 1. Also, it's actually not a... Well, do I have 100 gold now? Was killing just 3 of them enough to get me enough, No, it wasn't. Okay. That got me about halfway. There we go. Oh, no, no, don't actually kill it. Let him respawn. There we go. Gets you more gold that way. Also, I like how the treasure chest can sometimes grow feet and run away from you. For next to almost no reason. A punching glove? Ouch. There's just so much, like, cool shit in this game. That should probably be 100, but let me just double check. Yeah, 150, we're good now. Sorry about that. But yeah, God, what else do I want to talk about? What else can I talk about Secret of... There's so much I could talk about Secret of Mana, but I should only really talk about, like, what we're seeing in the video, right? I shouldn't, like, get ahead of myself and start talking about, like, endgame stuff and spoiling it. Like, goddamn, dude. I could ruin the playthrough of this game for somebody if I let myself. So, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna... So, let's talk about something else. I've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering, right? I'm a big Magic the Gathering head. And for a while, I was starting to, like, get into a format of Magic, which means, like, a different, like, way of playing the game called Modern. And I won't get too into the weeds of it, but just know you can use cards from, like, 8th edition up. And if you don't know what 8th edition is and you're still confused, I'm sorry, I'm gonna leave you confused. But the point is that, I used to, I was trying to get into Modern, but Modern is actually kind of expensive to get into, right? I made like this $50 deck thinking it would be like a fun way to spend a Friday afternoon every once in a while. But then it turned out that like, the deck was just so... Oh my god, I one-shot that fucker. The deck was just so not powerful enough and non-competitive enough that I just wasn't actually having as much fun as I thought I would. So I did have a Modern deck, but it was a very shitty Modern deck. It was a very underpowered Modern deck, and it only won every once in a great while. So it didn't feel that great to play. So I turned my eyes to Standard, and the and Standard had rotated formats recently. And again, I don't want to get too far into the weeds. Essentially, how Standard works is, in short, just to make it nice and, you know, simple and easy to understand. So I'm not fucking anyone's day up, getting into magic and minutia. But, Standard is like the last few years worth of sets. So you can only use, like, really current cards, right? So, the rotation of cards had actually happened pretty recently, and so it shook up, like, the metagame of Standard. And it made me more interested in playing it, because the metagame of Standard before that looked really bad. It didn't look like something I would enjoy personally. But yeah, now I'm a big Standard man. Big into Standard. I bought a Standard deck. And it's been going pretty well. I actually went to my first Standard event actually yesterday. And it went pretty good. I had a lot of fun. The people there seemed pretty nice. And I ended up winning just about every round that I went into. I drew the first round. Drawing kind of constitutes a win in Magic, weirdly enough. It's like a weird, slightly less effective win. It's still a win, but it's not as good as outright winning. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just ended up playing some Standard, and I ended up winning a bit. And it was really fun. I was playing a blue, red, white control deck. So, you know, I was hitting them with counter spells, and I was destroying their creatures and fucking their day up as much as possible. And it was fun. Yeah, like I said, the guys that I met there, all perfectly respectable guys. They weren't like those, you know, push-up glasses, snorting, like, mega turbo nerds who are just horrible, and you don't want to interact with them. Like, they were actually, like, really nice guys, and it was pretty fun playing with them, and I had a good time. Another critical hit there, by the way. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. Just slinging spells and felling fellas. Also, I gotta, really quickly here, I gotta change, nope, wrong one. I gotta change the sprites, AI as well. Would be a good idea, I think. But yeah, if you're interested in getting into competitive Magic the Gathering, why is she moving so slow like she's charging, but she's not charging at all? Maybe if she gets close enough. What's she doing? There we go. That was weird. But yeah, if you want to get into competitive Magic, Standard's pretty easy to get into. It's not as expensive as some other formats. And, it seems actually pretty fun right now. But yeah, other than that, like, I've been playing a little bit more Commander too. I didn't want to use a... Once again, I found myself not wanting to use a candy when I could just level up. When you get really good at this game, you kind of just time your level ups to be your heal, and you don't use items as much as other people, maybe. As a newer player. Newer players would see like their ally in critical condition and be like, holy shit, if I don't heal this guy with the candy now, he's gonna die. But I'm like, no, if I can just kill a couple more enemies, I'll level up and get all my HP back anyways. Also, these are bastard enemies. These possessed chairs, if they get a grip on you and start attacking you, they can lock down your character and just pretty much take you from full HP to 0. They're really nasty. And they can also hit your entire party at once if they're lined up correctly. So you gotta be like really careful with these chairs. They're really fast and they hit really hard. They're awful. You wouldn't think chairs as being like one of the most powerful enemies in a video game. But honestly, chairs are one of the most powerful enemies in this video game. It's so weird to say that, but it's so true. I think we want to go this way. Memory serves me right. Yeah, usually these werewolves are a lot harder to deal with. These guys are also very challenging too. There's a lot of challenging just regular enemies in this game. It's kind of nuts. You would think that like bosses would be some of the harder things to fight, but actually some of the regular enemies can be pretty challenging themselves. Alright, let me see. Do I take one more shot? One more shot. Do I take one more? Or do I call it good at 3? I'm gonna wait a little bit longer before I decide that. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. Oh, look how much money we have. We got plenty of money now. can max out our candy. We can max out on chocolate. Should even buy like a couple wishes. If I was being really smart. Yeah, what the fuck, I'll buy a jam too. And then we'll save, and then we'll go fight the boss, pretty much. There's a little bit more before the boss, but we're pretty much on the trail to the next boss here. Nope, wrong one. The middle one. Yeah, besides that, been watching a lot of movies lately. I watched some like older summer blockbuster movies. Ones that I had never seen before, actually. Some of them were very much before my time, though. So it kind of makes sense. But, just as kind of like a for instance, I watched the Amityville Horror, which I'd never seen before. And I ended up watching it in, like, the dark and, like, getting, like, super fucking spooked. Man, I don't handle horror movies well at all. So even some old-ass horror movie from, like, the 70s can still kind of, like, give me the heebie-jeebies pretty easy. So yeah, I ended up, like, getting my pants filled with shit watching Amityville Horror. Especially when, like, that fucking, when the little girl and the lady are in the room together, and she's like, "Oh, Jodie's here," and she's like, "Where's Jodie?" She's like, "You scared her away." It's like, "Well, where did I scare her to? She went out the window." And then, like, you know, the mother looks out the window, and there's, like, these two disembodied, like, glowing eyes in the night sky. Like, holy shit, dude. That fucking freaked me. That actually, like, really scared the crap out of me. Also, this is one of the hardest bosses in the game, by the way. Because you don't have any magic yet, and this boss can use magic. And the magic that he can use, he can spam it. He can kill you. He also can, like, knock you unconscious. He's nasty. When he goes up here, you can't hit him with melee attacks, but you can switch to a ranged weapon and still hit him. But yeah, see how he's like spamming that fire bouquet? He can actually do that quite a bit if he wants to. And fire breath. Damn, he's already back up there. That sucks. Thankfully we got a bunch of candy. I hate this bitch so much sometimes. He can actually be genuinely, like, really challenging. Ah, not a medicine worms. I should have bought some. Yeah, see, he can just keep spamming it, and there's, like, nothing you can do about it. Fucking die, dude! He ain't coming down from there, is he? Jesus. There he goes. Just gonna keep the damage up on him. I'm telling you, I've played this game like a million billion times, and this guy still can give you a hard time every once in a while. Some strong hits in. It's important. Alright, we got him. Whew! Yeah. See, man? Like, even experienced Secret of Mana gamers such as myself had, like, a pretty tough time with that Spiky Tiger. He's tough. He's genuinely one of the hardest bosses in video games. Like, if it comes down to just you and the Spiky Tiger, and he's up on one of those pillars, and he's just spamming magic on you, you just lose. You just lose. It's really that bad. So yeah, I don't know, man. Spiky Tiger's a real bitch. Let's do one more. We're gonna do one more shot. I'm hopefully not gonna puke my guts out later. It'll be good. But this is it. Alright. I'm actually gonna put the drink up in a second here too. So that way I'm not tempted for number 5. I think just 4 is probably good enough. Jesus. Alright. Here we go. Oh! 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 Woo! Okay. That should do me in. I'm putting this bad boy away. You don't fuck around with old Yukon Jack. You know what's something I probably should have talked about at the beginning of this video? Is why I'm making the video in the first place. I don't think I ended up talking about that, but I guess I can talk about it now. So, originally I had this plan in mind that every month I was going to review a video game. I would, you know, take my footage that I've gathered from the many games that I've beaten, and I would just, you know, slice up the footage, slice it up, splice it up, and, you know, try to make a cohesive narrative and make a review. And I was going to make, like, reviews of games, and I was going to do it, like, once a month. But this August did not get around to actually getting anything going in terms of making a review. So this is kind of like my makeup work. This is kind of like me trying to make it up to you guys, you know, you the viewer, that I, you know, that I didn't get things done like I wanted to. So I felt kind of bad about it. And so I decided to make this video, and I would just have like a little fun time, having a little couple drinks, and you know, just playing my favorite game of all time. And I thought it would make for decent quote-unquote content. I'm not a content creator or anything, but at the same time I just wanted to get something out there, something nice for people who may have been expecting a review this month, you know, that I just didn't get around to doing, and I kind of felt bad about it. So this is just me looking at you gamers and saying, look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt you. And I'm making it up to you. You know, hopefully this video does that, because, yeah, I don't know what game I was gonna review though either. I hadn't even like decided what game I was gonna play. So I don't know. I had like some ideas. Like eventually I want to make like a couple of mega reviews. And what I mean by that is like I've done like series of games, right? Like I played Soul Blazer and Illusion of Gaia and Terranigma, and like if I did a review of each one of those games, like I could do that, or I could just make one review of all three of the games in one video, and that's a daunting challenge and probably would take more than a month to do. But like that was one of my ideas, is I make like a mega review, a big review of a whole series of games, just to pack as much in there as I possibly could, you know? I might still do that. I might make the Soul Blazer trilogy my first mega review and my next review, but I might not either. I'm not sold on it. I might just do like a one-off. I have plenty of footage of like a bunch of other games that I want to review too, so I'm not really stressed about which one I pick exactly, but just a little idea I had. So, you know, just so you're in the know that yes, at some point there's either going to be a mega review of all three of those games, or there's going to be a, you know, each one of those games is going to get its own separate review. But I will be doing those games at some point, in one form or another. It's kind of what I'm trying to get across. Excuse me. I kind of like the bow better than the boomerang. It has shorter range, but it's more powerful. I just like it more too. It's cool. I like the bow. But yeah, this should be the point of the game where I actually might be stopping soon. If I remember correctly. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. This might actually be pretty quick. Let me... One second. Again, been drinking. Hard to keep a thought going. I just want to see how long I've been recording for. 1 hour and 30 minutes, and yeah, this might be it. You know, I was thinking of just doing a couple hours of Secret of Mana and seeing where it took me, so... This could be it, gamers. This could be the last thing I do before the end of this little recording. So I hope you've enjoyed it so far. It's been quite a ride. But yeah, I wanted to get at least... I at least wanted to get Undyne before I called it quits. So here we go, we're getting Undyne. It's exciting. This is one of the major parts of the game. And it's huge. You know, if you beat Spiky Tiger, you get a big reward for doing it. It feels good. Also, these fish are kind of annoying. I say that a lot about a lot of the random enemies. But the fish are kind of annoying. They can be kind of powerful in their own right. Even if they just... Look, it did 40 damage to the sprite, you know? Like, Jesus. Ease up, bro. Take a fucking chill pill. You're just a fucking fish. Don't think you're anything bigger than that. You ain't no shark. You're just a fucking fish. Stop doing 40 damage. You see what I'm talking about with these fuckers? They think they're so fucking hot because they can squirt water out of their mouths and deal 40 damage. But really, they're just a bunch of fucking assholes. There we go. Some nice levelage. Oh, this boss is also kind of tough. But it's so cool. Like, oh yeah, it's just a little pink dude, right? Like, he looks so happy and he's so cute, right? What threat could this thing possibly pose? Come on, finish it off for me. Do it! Kill it! I'm saving this charge for when something happens. Here we go. There we go. Big 72 damage. You'll love to see it! Ah! This is not how I thought I was going to spend my Saturday evening, is getting fucking gulped up by a blue Yoshi lizard. I know I'm wearing the Yoshi shirt, but that doesn't mean shit, man. We're kind of kicking his ass, though. I think I have enough chocolate that I can just use some bones. And as you can see, like, healing 250 health is like a little bit overkill when you have like less than 100. But I like helping out my friends. I'll go a little bit further after getting Undyne's magic so I can also show it off and explain the magic system. But yeah, this is, look how many times he can heal himself. What a fucking punk, huh? Beating him's really satisfying, though. Surprised he's not dead yet. I feel like we've hit him a bunch. There we go. I like how when he dies, he just slumps to the ground dead, too. It's so good. It's a little morbid, but it's so good, too. But yeah, what you get for defeating that fucking asshole is you get some good shit. It's Undyne, man. This is where the game really starts to open up and comes into its own, in my opinion. This is where at this point you have like pretty much all the weapons you're gonna get. In fact, I think this is where you get the last weapon too. So you'll have all the weapons you're ever gonna get. You're gonna start with your first magic power. There's way more. There's like I think there's 8 other magic elementals you can find as well. But like, yeah, man. This is pretty much it. Like, this is where like the game really comes into its own. So I'll show you what happens is if you go to your other characters like the sprite, you can see you now have a different little thing here where you can like select your magic. You can use freeze, energy absorb. So like freeze obviously is like a damaging spell. It costs 2 MP, so it's not quite as good as Acid Storm, which is 3 MP. But you could use this 5 times, whereas you could only use this 3 times with 10 MP, right? So if you wanted to conserve your mana and deal the most damage possible, you'd actually, I think, want to use Freeze. But Acid Storm's a good spell, too. And Energy Absorb, if Sprite was starting to die, right, you can use this spell, absorb the HP of the enemy, and pretty much go back to full, right, if you do enough damage. So Energy Absorb can also be a pretty powerful spell. And that leads me to the next thing I want to show really quick. And that is if we go to the levels again for the magic. See how you can level up magic? Freeze causes a freezing ice storm. Acid Rain lowers enemies' defense, so it makes it so your regular attacks deal more damage too. Energy Absorb takes away enemies' HP. And you can see there's like a 0 next to Undyne and then like another 0. The 0 on the left is like your level total, and the 0 on the right of the colon is the 0 that is like your experience into getting to the next level. So levels, we're getting a little bit into the weeds here, but that's just how much I love this game, are dictated by how much mana power you have, which is how many of the mana orbs that you have sealed. So right now we only have blue available, right? The water orb from the water palace. So that means we can level up our spells to level 1. But if we unlocked another mana orb, then we could go to level 2, and then we could get our spells to level 2, right? So our mana power would be 2, then we could get spells level 2. So you know, the more you play this game and the more you get into it, the more you can start building up your spells, building up your weapons, you know, getting the ins and outs. And we'll actually show off a couple of the spells. And we're going to also show off what I don't like about the spells really quick here, too. So one of the things you're going to notice is when the spell is going off, you can still, like, the other characters can move around, but the character that's casting the spell can't move around, right? Now, so let's say you use this, and then you go back to the menu. See how it's grayed out? You actually can't use anything because you're in the middle of casting a spell. You can't use items either because you're casting a spell. So you're pretty much like useless until the spell is cast. That's what and when you're in like a multiplayer match, like with friends, it actually like freezes the gameplay for everybody while the spell's going off, and that can be kind of annoying too. So and it also interrupts the gameplay that every time you want to cast a spell, you have to go into the menu too, right? So, you know, spells are both like really cool, but also at the same time they can be a little annoying too, especially if you're playing with other people and you have to continuously go into the menu in order to use them. And the more you use your spells, the higher level it gets. So you want to use your spells as much as possible. And then whenever you go to an inn, you can sleep and you get all your MP back, and then you can cast more spells. Let me show you really quick the lady's spells too. She can use Ice Saber, which enchants your weapon with ice. So I'll actually do that really quick, because why not? I'll show you what that does. So when your weapon is enchanted with ice, you deal more to fire enemies. But also, every time you hit, you can turn enemies into a snowman. Now, while they're a snowman, you can't actually hit them, so this is kind of like bad in a way, because you can't kill enemies this way very easily. You have to wait until the snowman runs out. But it's good if you're like in an area where you don't want to fight enemies and you just want to run through it, right? And you want to get to the next area. Like, turning things into snowman definitely helps a lot. So it's a cool, it's just a good option. Probably the most useful thing she has are the remedy and the cure water. Essentially what remedy does is the same thing as a medicinal herb. So when you use this, if someone was on fire, for instance, you can have her use remedy on that character and get them out of like the fire status effect. If someone was poisoned, you could remove the poison from them with remedy. It just cures any status ailment, so it's really powerful and really worth using. And then Cure Water does exactly what you think it does. So she's at 49 health now, right? She gained 170. And here's another thing I wanted to show, that I was going to show with the Sprite, but I accidentally didn't, is that you can actually target multiple characters at once, right? So this dilutes the cure, because it's split up among 3 people, so it only healed 50 that time. But it heals everybody for 50. So you don't have to, you know, one at a time heal people. You can heal everybody at the same time. It's just really nice. This is a really good game. And I really, really hope that after watching all this gameplay, that you might give it a shot, because I think it's worth your time. I think it's worth anyone's time. It's one of my all-time favorite games, and yeah, please, 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 I'm begging you, play Secret of Mana. If you've never played Secret of Mana before, you have to play Secret of Mana. So there's a couple of options to you if you want to play Secret of Mana. First one is, you buy a Super Nintendo, and you buy a copy of Secret of Mana, and you play it. That's one way to do it. You can also use an emulator, right? And the nice thing about emulators is you know, we live in this technological internet age, right, where we all know each other online. Emulators, you can actually play with people over a network online, right? So if you have friends online that you want to play with, you can actually do that. So that's an option. So Again, if you don't want to buy the multi-tap and you don't want to play in real life with your friends, you have the emulator available to you, and so there's really no excuse. You know, find a couple of friends that are willing to take the plunge and go on an awesome adventure with you. You know, hopefully people who have never played the games themselves, and just yeah, play Secret of Mana any way you can. But I would recommend it with friends and like-minded friends, people who are, you know, experienced in games and like playing games. You know, we all know the people who are like, you know, who buy PS5s and only play Call of Duty series games. Secret of Mana is probably not for them. But if you know anyone who likes JRPGs even in the slightest, and you want to share this experience with someone, I really suggest Secret of Mana. It is so fun to play with people. It really is. There's a couple of drawbacks to it. The magic system isn't super great for playing, but as long as you make it so, like, you don't go into the menu too often, you don't cast too many spells, like, you don't need to use a lot of spells to beat the bosses in this game. It helps, and it makes the game a lot easier. But if you just, like, if you just chill out with using items when you're in multiplayer, it makes the game a lot more smooth as an experience for everyone involved. So yeah, that's my little recommendation to you. If you are going to play this with people, either online or in real life, or, you know, in any which way, if you're playing with other people, try to lay off the magic a little bit. I know it's really fun to use the magic in this game. I almost recommend you do like a solo playthrough and then like a multiplayer playthrough, but so you can get like the best of both worlds, where you do like one playthrough where you use a lot of magic and one playthrough where you don't. Kind of, you know, spices up the gameplay a little bit to have that. But anyways, I digress. Play this game. Regardless if you play with friends or just on your own, play this game. Play this game. And with that, I think I've made my point. I think I have fully established that this is my favorite game of all time. And, you know, I feel a little bit buzzed, and I think it's time to say goodbye. So, for me, it's going to be nighttime soon, so I'm going to say goodnight to you. You might be watching this in the afternoon or in the morning. Regardless of what time of day it is, have a good one. And, yeah, there will be a review coming out next month, and I promise it. I'm not going to make another drunk makeup video. We're just going to play, or sorry, we're just going to review a game and just get it done. And if I make the mega review of the Soul Blazer trilogy, I'll do it. If I don't have the power in me to do that all in a month, then we will review something else. So there's plenty of games to review, so look forward to it. Alright, peace out, gamers. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Bye.